Welcome to our new series called Holistic Living, and I am Rachel Strably, a consulting hypnotist.
And good morning. I'm Rachel Schemmerling, interior designer and wellness focused designer for inspired, comfortable wellness living.
Wonderful. And we're just going to talk about different ways of living holistically, but today we're going to introduce ourselves, how we got into the business that we're in, and why holistic living is important to us. So go ahead, Rachel.
It all started for me about 12 years ago. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And so at that point, as doctors made it sound that my life was pretty much going to be altered and different, and that I would not be living the way I had been, which was true in a lot of ways, but not so true in others. And that's when I discovered Dr. Esther Sternberg had written a book about healthy living in your home and how your environment really affects your well-being. And she knew a study that had been done about some patients in the hospital that had healed so much faster when they had a view of a garden or the sea as opposed to, say, a brick wall. And that really struck a chord for me, being in the interior design industry and knowing how much our well-being had really affected your how your environment really affected your well-being. However, it wasn't really being talked about. And so that made me realize that this is an area I wanted to explore. And slowly over the years, of course, sustainability, green, eco-friendly, people are realizing that their materials and things around them are affecting their health. It's also they're realizing that there's other parts of your environment that affect you as well. So that really got me into learning more about it. I took a course. I was certified in wellness design through Wellness Within Your Walls, and it just really gave me a whole other path in the world of design that wasn't as superficial as your typical design. Is more intentional, more aligned with my values, and that's kind of how I got into it in a short story form.
Wonderful.
How about you, Rachel?
So I was struggling with depression, and I was dealing with seasonal affective disorder for majority of my adult teen years and into my adult life. And
Mm,
about 5 or more years ago now, I had a severe case of depression where I couldn't get off the couch. I was sleeping and crying all day, and then I was just getting myself together, washing my face to get my kids off the school bus and start the routine of drop offs and pickups and sports and dance and theater. And I was just not really living, I was just going through the motions. And, my doctor wanted to prescribe an antidepressant, but that did not align with me. And I'm not judging medication
sure.
prescriptions. They work wonderfully. But in my mind, it was like, that's just going to mask the problem that I have. It's not
Mhm.
going to go deeper. And so I looked on YouTube about videos for depression, and hypnosis came up, and I just
Mm.
listened to hypnosis day and night for about 3 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I have not had seasonal affective disorder in the last 5 years. I do have like a down day here and there, but
Sure.
I'm able to just sit with it and figure out, what am I feeling? Am I feeling taken for granted?
Hmm.
Or have I not been taking care of myself? And so I'm able to sit with that, use a hypnosis to get me through it, and then go about my day. So it really doesn't last more than a couple of hours anymore, whereas before it
That's
would be a
fantastic.
whole season.
Yeah.
So after I got through the depressive stage, I just decided that I had to become a hypnotist and share this with other people because
Right.
it is amazing. It really is.
That's fantastic. And that kind of brings me to what Sherry Giancarlo, a good friend of ours, had said, us Rachel and Rachel. with both of our past experiences and our now new paths in, sharing our knowledge of from our despair to now what has changed our lives. Our new tagline. Thank you, Sherry. Maybe Rachel, you can tell us what that would be.
Everyone needs a little R and R.
Very
So
true.
much
They sure
so.
do. Rachel and rest and relaxation. And
That
that's basically what our whole goal is in both of our businesses, is to help our clients find that rest and relaxation, find that peace, find that inner peace, whether it be in their environment or inside and here. And I think that's a great tag for us for our new holistic living conversations. So Rachel, tell me a typical, explain for our audience what a hypnosis session would look like.
So I do customize them, so the messages are different for everyone, and the process is similar, but could go very differently. Like I said before, I rely very much on my intuition, and it has served me well over the last 5 years. So you will go, I would guide you into a very relaxed state. And most people say, oh, I can't be hypnotized, or I don't know how to
Mm.
relax. And I just say, no worries, just close your eyes, listen to my words, and they go into a deep state, surprise themselves there. And then usually I offer suggestions that we would have discussed before I put them into hypnosis, offer them
Mhm.
suggestions to rewire their neural pathways, help them think differently, feel differently. But there are so many different ways of doing hypnosis. I could be talking to their subconscious mind. I could be giving them actions while they're in hypnosis. Um, so it all depends on the individual, and
Mhm.
I just go with the flow, whatever feels.
That's amazing. It must be life changing for a lot of people to finally get. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy, and we get in our own way, and to have that sort of brought to the light and help you to move out of your way to really see the issue and change it within your brain. It's very powerful.
A client had her final session yesterday, and she said to me, "My quality of life is so much better after 3 sessions."
That's wonderful.
So this is what I do. So how do
I
you
love that.
help your clients and guide them into?
So, typically we start out with a call. I get to know what their project is going to be um, about. What are they looking to do? Typically, people don't come to me looking for a wellness designer. They don't know they need it. More and more people are becoming aware of what wellness design is, but it's really not hit the mainstream yet. So, like you, I use my intuition to kind of evaluate and see once I'm in their home or in their space, get an idea of what could be really plaguing them. And through a detailed questionnaire, I get an idea of that as well. So that's part of it. That's part of sort of the wellness assessment. And then once we get into a project, we look at things like, and I can give you an example. Um, one client of mine, she had just moved into a condo and it was painted in, mostly cool gray tones, and it really didn't it didn't really reflect her personality at all. And she said it just made her feel disconnected. So we warmed it up with like earthy greens and a touch of natural wood and linen, kind of natural materials. We use non-toxic paint, of course, low VOC finishes. And that really helped her with her sensitivity to chemicals as well. And this transformation, it was subtle, but it was really powerful. And she's, in her own words, she said, I feel like me now. This is now my space. And it was life changing for her. So, there's lots of examples like that can help understand what wellness design can do. And it's all interior designers are wellness designers. We're all looking to improve your environment in one way or another. The wellness design is it's not necessarily about aesthetics. It's more about intentional choices and also a little bit of life coaching as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
So yeah, that's what it's about.
It brings me
Um,
back to a memory when it was, yeah, it was February. We just moved into our home, not this one, but a different one, and had a young baby. And I was feeling gloomy. And so I painted my living room orange. And my husband, no, I'm like, but it makes me happy. It makes me happy. And from the outside looking in, if there was a light on, it looked like there was a fire in the house.
it's an energizing color,
It was
and
a
that color
very
psychology
energizing
is
color,
huge.
and I needed it. And then he painted
Yes.
it green, and I was like, no, I can't do green. So then we settled upon a yellow, similar to the yellow
Uh,
I have in my office right now. So
uh-huh.
it was kind of worked for us both, kind of.
Right.
I love bright colors. They do make me feel really happy. And
You need that energizing energy around you.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the trick is to finding that balance when there's more than one person in a space, right?
I
One person is like, "Whoa, that's too energizing for me."
yes.
And for you, that's exactly what you needed to feel more alive. And color psychology is a huge part of wellness design. And I can kind of give you just like what some of the pillars are. Like, it's obviously light is a huge factor, right? Especially with seasonal affective disorder. Getting enough light in those winter months where it's darker longer, that's so key. Air, our air circulation, how fresh and clean is it? Is it, we getting our fresh air from plants? Is it, are you in a stuffy building? Comfort, functionality, how your furniture fits you personally, ergonomically. Um, Color, materials, are those, think calming hues, soft materials, non-toxic finishes. The sensory experience of wellness design. It's what it's really all about. It's, soft textures, comforting scents, soothing sounds versus hard edges. Chemical smells, visual chaos, like all the clutter, all those things are so affect us so much so we don't really realize it. And some people are more affected by their sensory world around them than others.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, wellness design is really personal, and I love how you're bringing it in your practice with hypnosis, and you're helping people sort of change some of those neural pathways through hypnosis. Tell me more about an experience you've had with a client where you've really changed something, say, like, for example, with a sleep issue.
So with the sleep issue, it's mostly guiding them into a relaxed state where they can um, appreciate their conscious thoughts,
Mm,
but not overthink with them. So
right.
I have to do this tomorrow. Thank you for the reminder. Now off you go because it's my time to sleep.
Mm.
And actually, if you are having trouble sleeping, I share this with you. Count down from 10 to 1. Tell yourself, I am calm, I am relaxed, I am sleeping. And by the time
Hmm.
you get to 1, you'll probably be asleep. Maybe at the beginning, you need to do it multiple times.
Yeah,
But this is a way to, stop your conscious mind from coming in with all the to-dos and,
sure.
what happened the day before that you want to
Mm,
overthink
right.
what's happening tomorrow. So by giving your conscious brain something to do, this countdown, and telling
Hmm.
yourself that I'm calm, I'm comfortable, I'm cozy, I'm relaxed, I'm sleeping. But putting in I am sleeping just tells your brain and your body that it's time. Go to sleep.
That's so amazing how you can literally tell yourself,
Mm-hmm.
to what to do, and to tell your brain, and sort of what a team we make in, bringing in the wellness design with that, where I come in sort of the perspective of taking out the distractions in the bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
removing the television, adjusting the window treatments so that there's not a lot of light and or natural light during the day, so there's those things, the cooling sheets, all of the things that affect the environment that can be bothersome to someone who's already troubled with thoughts,
Hmm.
trying to get to sleep, need those distractions removed and make a much better environment for them to fall asleep.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. I can't imagine, I've struggled with sleep myself and I think, especially women with perimenopause or menopause, sleep becomes one of those number one issues of that affliction. And I myself have suffered with it. And I've done all of the things that I would do for a client.
Yeah.
And sometimes still, right? Still it's that last piece is the mental piece.
Well,
It's getting in
sometimes,
and adjusting.
yeah, sometimes it's a deeper issue. Maybe if
Mm,
that we have to acknowledge from you being in hypnosis, and
mm-hmm,
we get to the root cause and
mm-hmm.
pull out the information, or just telling your brain that sleep is just as important, and
Right.
at a deeper level, so that we're really making a change. The countdown definitely works. I use it myself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I've also done a lot of work on myself during hypnosis.
Sure.
So, um, if you try this out and it's not working for you, then we need to go deeper and
Mm.
and work some other things through.
That's great. Now, how long does it typically take for hypnosis to kind of from start to finish? How long are the practices, and
So it
how
all
long do you do
depends
them?
on the challenge that the person is having, or the goal that the person is wanting to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And most people think that hypnosis is just for sleep, weight release, or smoking cigarettes. It's not. It can be used for setting goals, reaching them, business practices, or you need to focus, write a book, you need to increase your profits at work, whatever. There's a hypnosis. If there's a challenge, there's a hypnosis for it. So
I
it
love that.
depends on what the challenge is or what the goal you're setting is. But I do
Mm-hmm.
6 and 9 session programs, and each
Oh,
session is about an hour. It all depends on how much the person wants to share. I just finished up with a client, and there was not much conversation before, and there was not much conversation after. So 45 minutes, we were, one and done. So, or
uh-huh.
3 sessions and 45
Yeah,
minutes. But some people
that's
do
great.
share how their week's been. They like to share how the experience was for them. They like to talk things through, and
Mm-hmm.
some people are 90 minutes. I don't rush, and I don't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I schedule 90 minutes per client, but it's typically about an hour.
Oh, that's great. And it sounds like, it's almost more effective, depending on the goal or the issue than say your traditional therapy. It's sort of get to the point, get to the root issue, deal with the neural pathways, and get on with your life, right? Like
Oh,
talk therapy can go on for months and months and months, which in a lot of cases that could work and be what's needed, right? Nothing against that, but it's nice that there's therapies out there like what you're providing, that are a little faster. They fix gets right to the issue.
so fast. I mean, you can change your life in just one session.
Hmm. That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, and my favorite, I don't want to say favorite client, but my um
Yeah.
goosebump client, she'd been dealing with bulimia for 25,
Oh, wow.
and told one person during that time, who made her feel so shameful about it. So then she met me, and we chatted, and she opened up to me, and over a 6 month period, we didn't work together every week or even every month, but over a 6 month period, we worked together. And one day it just clicked.
Oh,
It just went away.
that's amazing.
I like, my whole body is goosebumps right now, because
I love those
something.
transformational projects where, they become so personal to you, and
Yes,
like for you as well as for me, I'm sure your clients become friends, right? Because
yes,
it's such an intimate service, right? Like for both of us, I'm going into a home, we're talking daily, we're going through, their whole house and all of their personal details. It's an intimate relationship, and you grow close to people because you're helping them to make some major life changes, and that's very heartwarming. It's very rewarding work, right?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love it. And I've
Yeah.
gone through about 10 careers. And this one's sticking. I'm not going anywhere. This one is sticking.
I love it. Yep. And the beauty of getting older too is realizing that you can do everything in life. You just can't do it all at once. But you can do so many different things. Like for my previous world was hospitality. And that was another reason I got into this area of design was I just wanted to make people feel comfortable, right? And how do I do that? And then, I realized there was interior design. Oh, there's a great avenue. I want to do that. But it wasn't as fulfilling. It was very superficial. People were like, oh, it's all about trends and aesthetics. And that just didn't align with me. So,
I had the same.
definitely wanting to make people feel comfortable is the goal.
I had the same. I was a personal stylist.
Oh, wow.
I could bring people's confidence out in their clothing, but it did not align. So
Yeah. So you
yeah,
could do both. You could do personal stylist
so
and
this is
Mm,
I'll just send them to our friends.
I love that. So
So,
I'll give you another example of one of my clients. She was a busy mom, and she said her house it always felt that it always smelled like takeout and hockey gear, right? And we both know as moms, that can happen. These were her words. And her family room, they didn't have any greenery. The windows were always closed. So, we swapped out the artificial fragrances that she was using with more like essential oils. We created an area for low maintenance indoor plants. I mean, those are just little shifts and changes that can really make a huge difference. And immediately her house felt more refreshed, and she was even said that her mood changed, and that the family was happier and everything had shifted. So it's like changes like that, just in thought and in your environment. It's a holistic, a whole different perspective, a fresh perspective of how to look at how you're living every day, right? Because sometimes we don't even realize.
well, following up, we're going to offer some tips, but before that, we're
Mm,
going to let you know that we're going to be interviewing people. It's not just Rachel and I giving you a little bit of R&R. We're going to be bringing in some Reiki practitioners, nutrition experts, furniture designers, clean wine distributors, and everything in between. But if you have an idea or you're a person that wants to be interviewed for this holistic living series, reach out to us. We both have very simple emails. Rachel at Timeless Living Designs, Rachel at Hypnosis with Rachel. Shoot us an email. But now we're going to leave you with a little tip that you can take with you right away. Go ahead.
yes. So tonight, I challenge you. I challenge you to make just one small shift. Light a candle, declutter one surface, add a plant, open a window, play some music that makes you smile, rearrange your furniture to feel more open. Just a few little shifts and see how you feel, and let us know. Put it in the comments.
Wonderful. Those are perfect. I'm definitely opening windows today.
Definitely. Today's the
Honey,
perfect day for that.
for me, I invite you to step outside or imagine that you're outside. Both work very well. And close your eyes, place your hands on your stomach, and just tell yourself what you need to hear, whether it's I am calm or I'm a good person, I am enough. Just tell yourself what you need to hear, repeat it a few times, feel it in your body, allow it to reach your mind, and do that multiple times whenever you feel you need to be grounded, or make it a practice every morning.
That's great. I will definitely be working on that myself. Thank you
Wonderful.
so much, Rachel. This is fantastic. I can't wait to bring in others and hear what they have to offer. I'm looking forward to continuing our conversations, and we'll see everyone soon.
Thank you, Rachel. See you all soon.
Thank you.